Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Schools podcast. I'm your host, Jayson Gaddis, and so grateful to be here. So grateful that I get this platform to shout at you from the mountaintops here in Boulder, Colorado. And I get to remind you how important your relationships are, and I get to try to help you do them better, right? We have reached 4 million downloads in this podcast, and that would not be possible without your listening ears. It simply would not be possible. There's no way that I'd be doing what I'm doing without you, the listener. And so I depend actually on you taking an interest here. If all of you stopped listening tomorrow, there would be no podcast. It'd just be like, whatever, I'll do something else with my time. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and my family, to you. It means a lot that you would listen and pay that much attention to how to do love better and how to love better as a person. Okay, it's enormous. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to record a short episode here at the new year and around the holidays to, remind you of why this work matters that we're doing here. So all of you relationship schoolers understand the Harvard study, the longest study on human behavior ever done at Harvard. They followed a group of men, and they found that the single biggest determining factor of a well-lived life was the quality of the relationships that these people had in the study. This is instructive for us because the more and more research that's coming out says that when your relationships are bad or compromised, you have a harder time in life. We now know this on all across the lifespan. So children, for example, who are raised in orphanages in Romania, the studies on them, 40% of those folks that grow up have psychiatric conditions and mental illness and deeply disturbing lives, because there was no one loving them from birth onward, and caring for them in a way that maybe someone like you would care for them, an attuned parent or someone who actually cares about, meeting a child's needs. So there's studies like that, right? And then there's studies that demonstrate, like the Gottmans do, where couples that understand and know how to work through conflict live 10 years longer than couples who don't know how to work through conflict and who are in contempt and strife and angst and disharmony, right? And in conflict and can't get through it. Some of you know what it's like to not be able to get on the other side of conflict, and it sucks. It sucks. It feels bad. It keeps you up at night, on and on. This year, guys, has been extremely challenging on a lot of you, and it's taken its toll, right? In a number of ways, perhaps on your health, perhaps you lost someone in your life, perhaps you lost your job, maybe you lost a relationship, you had a breakup, you had a difficult transition. Maybe you've experienced someone cutting you out of their life. Maybe you've been a listener here and you're a student and you've transitioned out of friendships that are no longer serving you, right? There's been a lot of change this year, from everything that happened with George Floyd's murder to our political situation here in the United States. It's been a really intense year, and this virus has really, I think, brought to the surface in a greater way a lot of issues that were maybe just below the surface. So I'm grateful for that, and it comes at a price, right? It's like, oof, this was hard. And I want to remind you that when things get hard, your life gets hard, the go-to that you want to have not be hard is your closest relationship. You want an ally that's in your corner, that's a soft place to land, someone that's got your back, someone that's a safe harbor and a launching pad. You want that person, and it could be an intimate partner, a spouse, it could even be a family member or a close friend. You want and need, in my opinion, those kinds of people in your life. And this is why I bang my drum about working through conflict as the crux of any good relationship. If you cannot work through conflict very well, and you don't know how, you are adding stress and compounding the cortisol going through your system. And you're making life, it's another little step that's harder for you. So you probably know this by now, which is why you're listening. And I want to thank you for listening, because my job is to help you handle that part of your life. I'm not here to teach you about money or your health, although I mention that from time to time. It's really about how can I help you get better at connection so that you have key people in your life that are resourcing and amazing for you. Right? I know it can be done because I see it every day with my students here at the Relationship School. I've seen it and proven it in my own life that an emotionally constipated guy like me can completely transform. Now, some of you are with a former me, right? And so you're holding out hope that maybe he'll be like Jayson and change. No, I don't want to promote that. You're with who you're with to learn a lesson you need to learn. And sometimes that lesson is get out and move on, right? So I want to make a few things abundantly clear about in 2021, my wish for is that you create this and you deepen into this kind of relationship I'm talking about. And again, could be an intimate partner, but the kind of relationship where you have each other's backs, you meet each other's needs, you help each other feel emotionally safe, seen, supported, and challenged, right? And you return after a conflict, and you always, 100% of the time, do your best to make it right again so that the two of you can get to zero. And zero means we're back feeling connected again, okay? I want that for you, and you understand it takes work to get there. So to make things really clear, you can't get that kind of relationship with someone who's stonewalling, gaslighting, narcissistic, abusive, and won't do the work. It can't happen for you. And some of you are stuck in relationships where you keep trying. I think your stubbornness in continuing to try is probably only going to lead to more age in your body and in your system. So feel free to try. I think it's always worth trying in the beginning, but at a certain point, guys, you've got to move on to someone who's more available for that. And I know it's scary to potentially go out and be alone, especially, quote, your age. That's what you tell me. I got to be single again. Oh my God. Yeah. I want your relationship to yourself to be incredible, to be amazing. And we just finished, really, we have a couple more weeks here of last chance to get into our deeper course before we close it out for a while. And then we're going to move on to enrolling folks into our coaching program. But for now, it's like, how do you create that? How do you create an indestructible relationship? How do you create the kind of relationships that you deserve? You deal with the person in the mirror, as I've always said, right? You're dealing with yourself. You're the person you have control over. You're the person you can change. It has nothing to do with anything being wrong with you and you need to contort and fit into who you think they want you to be. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, you guys that know that relationship is a path to integration. It's a path to becoming you again. It's a path to repairing that core human split I often teach about. It's a path for you to come home to yourself. But you have to be astute and pay attention. And you've got to get the lessons along the way that help you be even more true to yourself. You do not have to, contrary to what your parents or culture, church, or whoever taught you, you do not have to compromise your integrity for love or for connection. You get to be true to yourself and get the connection that you want. I think that's probably what you're after, right? Okay, so as Mark Devine said, who's the Navy SEAL I interviewed, the episode I think was called Lessons from a Navy SEAL Through Tough Times. I encourage you to go listen to that again. I asked him about cutting corners, and he said, how you do anything is how you do everything. So after that interview, I tightened up my game on my workouts, and it improved. And I was appreciative of someone like him. Kind of took a Navy SEAL to be like, duh, yeah, I already know that, but I needed to hear it from you. So the reminder to all of us is how you do anything is how you do everything. If you continue to think you're going to get a good relationship by, quote, finding the right person or not having to actually roll up your sleeves and deal on a daily basis, I think you're in for a lot of frustration and potentially a lot of failure. Okay, I cannot state this enough. You must work for a strong relationship. It's not given to you. And you work through whatever you need to work through to get it. Okay, just like anything. If I had health challenges, financial challenges, okay, I got stuff to learn. Become a student, put your student hat on, and get after it and learn it. And I know, because students show me every day, I know you can make progress there toward getting what you want. And I know a lot of you will get what you want because you're determined. And you have this big heart that cares so much. And you've been through pain and challenge, and you're like, fuck this, I'm doing this. I am going to create the kind of relationships I want in my life, right? Sometimes we have to let go of people in our life to make room for the new folks. Yep. And that's uncomfortable. Yes, agreed. All right. So just that reminder, okay? Do the work, continue to listen, continue to practice, continue to invest in yourself in this department. And I can assure you, especially if you learn how to work through conflict effectively, you are going to be not only more resilient and self-confident, you're going to, become a relational leader, you're going to have better relationships overall that are definitely not superficial, because superficial relationships don't go anywhere near conflict, right? You know this. Some of your friends are like, they never want to talk about what's actually going on in a relationship and how fucking hard they are. They want to talk about, yeah, it's great. Everything's great. Everything's always great. It's like fucking great all the time, which is just a facade. Nobody's life is great all the time. That's horseshit. We all have challenges. We all go through hard times. Let's surround ourselves with people that just want to talk about what's actually true. Some days my life's great. Some days it's really fucking hard. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes I'm a little depressed. Sometimes I'm shaming myself. Some days I'm loving myself, right? This is the ride we're on. Okay. All right. Sign up for our trainings that are free. I'm doing those on a regular basis. I'm having fun with those. relationshipschool.com/training, right? And come ask me a question live. Join our Facebook group. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'm definitely more active there right now. I will probably respond personally to your comments if you leave me one. And I look forward to another amazing, insanely beautiful, wild year ahead of us. I am stoked to get after it. And I'm not stopping anytime soon to reach 10 million families because I want to help the world love better. And I want you to join me, okay? So are you with me? Let's do this, all right? And it starts with us, okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever this may find you. Happy holidays, happy New Year, happy solstice, happy whatever else we would say, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, etc. And may this, may you really get the kind of connection that you're yearning for. That's not a fantasy, that's real. It's deep, it's conflictual at times, but it's rich and beautiful and mutual. All right, folks, talk soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.